Yes, I am.
Awesome. So I have no idea what I'm doing in Guild Wars 2. Why don't you go ahead and take me through a little bit of the basics about this map until Grizz gets back?
Okay. Guild Wars 2 goes with a 3-node capture style point map. The first team to reach 500 points wins. On each point, once a player has capped it for their team, it will tick for, I believe, 1 point every 2 seconds. There are also two NPC mobs that will spawn near each of the players' home point. Home point is used generally to refer to each point closest to the team's spawn point. So for red team, it is a mine, or for the blue team, it is the henge. And over by the henge, you see chieftain spawn, and over by the mine, we always see Svanir. Those are worth 50 in-game points for all the stats for the player, and 25 points towards winning the match.
An excellent and very simplified description of these maps that will help even the newbies to people out, myself included. So we do actually see this is nearly a stomp. We're only about 10 minutes into the game, and Red Team has taken a commanding lead. They only need about 120 points left to really take this match home, and we can already see they've got the capture on both the keep and the mine right now, and the henge is about to be contested. What do you really think that the blue team kind of needs to do to come back from this?
Well, one thing they really need to do is split up their resources. We see this a lot in casual play, but teams that aren't coordinated will group up all the resources at one point, while the other team just funnels players in. And since they already have 2 points, they have a commanding lead on the red side. But it looks like the blue team is diversifying a bit. Over here at the mine, we see Akarasha is decapping that for their team. That'll give them a slight advantage on points, but at this point, it's going to be a really major comeback if they're able to do anything, since red team really has a dominating lead.
Blue team takes a capture point.
Yeah, it looks like we actually have the mine being taken back, but in return, Henge has also been taken and completely overrun by members of the red team, sort of from that fight there. And you can actually see one of the red team necromancers coming in on to this blue team warrior. He's surely going to fall here, getting down very low. It looks like they are actually going to get the stomp off on him. No, he's actually going to knock him back, but there we go. The stomp is down, and he will end up falling. And that will be the henge pretty much secured, but it looks like we are going to have a potential skirmish over the keep right now.
Svanir's return.
Yeah, over there we have, once again, Akarasha doing a great job at decapping the points, trying to keep the red team away from their victory, but they are only 10 points away, and they're taking out fast, 498, and it looks like this game is going to go to the red team this time around.
Yeah, and that will be the end of that. Red team going to go ahead and take home this first game. We'll go ahead and see what happens in the next match as these fights go ahead and wrap up, and we can see this Char right here going for a nice stomp. And that is just totally, yep, there we go. That is going to be a very, very, very dead ranger.
You're a stomp.
You know what, Grizz? You weren't here. I had to do things for you.
Hey, I'm sorry, making funeral arrangements.
Stop making me feel guilty.
It's
Not
the
okay.
truth, I'm sorry.
I know, stop making me feel guilty. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I love you. Alright, join me for PvP now, man.
I've been in the game.
Okay, cool. Cool, so we're just gonna go ahead and get into the spectator slots once again, and it looks like we are... I really wish I knew what this map was called. Isn't this like... Yeah, this is Legacy of Foefire, okay. Alright.
Yeah, sure.
And I'll let Gris take over here in just a moment, but immediately off the bat, it looks like we do actually have a Necromancer headed up towards the waterfall, actually, and then, of course, Red Team heading out to the quarry to cap that. There will be a slight skirmish in the graveyard here momentarily, I have a feeling, as the Blue Team breaks off to go ahead and take that as well. All you guys.
Oh, am I cutting in now? Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, and it looks like we have a fight over a waterfall trying to contest that point right now. Mick is Smack in a lot of trouble, being contested by two members from the blue team, but blue team actually not staying on point, leaving it open for the red team to capture. Shadow, I'm just gonna call you Shadow, is on that point, but blue team finally realizes it and switches to jump back on that point to try and get that capture. Meanwhile, Mickey Smack in a lot of trouble, being contested by a member from blue team, taking a lot of damage. I'm going to throw down the healing. But two members from red team also joined in onto the fight, turning the favor for or turning it into the favor for Mixmac, forcing Hitmonlee back and actually Hitmonlee in a lot of trouble, forcing blue team to turn and help defend their player. But Mixmac now back into a lot of trouble, getting damaged by that assassin. And let's see if Hot Buns will get the smash off. And no, he gets nared, but he tries to go back for it. And let's see. Yep, Hot Buns does get that smash off, leaving Hitmonlee actually really low. And yes, Hitmonlee does finally go down. A lot of action going on at this point right now. Blue team still has it. It's the only point that they have right now. What do you think blue team has to do in order to turn this back into their favor?
Well, one thing they really need to do is split up their resources. This is the same thing we were seeing at the end of the last match. They're really focusing on 1 point, and since they don't have the cap on it, they're not getting any points for it, which is giving Red an easy time stacking up points in their favor.
So right now, blue team doesn't have any points contested right now. They're actually quite a bit points behind now, and blue team doing everything they can. They are starting to force red off this point, but having to force all their resources onto the single point, leaving red team that 2 cap, blue team looks to be in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, especially if they don't turn it around. One thing to note is if blue team, even at a deficit, manages to make it to 350 points, they can push the red team's base for a Lord kill. If they kill it after 350 points, the 150 point buff from the Lord will win them this match, but they do have to reach those 350 points first.
And it looks like we have a couple members now from each side, but Hot Buns getting the rally off and getting back up, letting GT rain arrows down upon that point. Actually, blue team taking a lot of damage from it. Hot Buns actually forced to being stealth and now is feared off the point. They are just spending way too many resources on this single point. With 11 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game, they're already almost 100 points behind. GT just doing a lot of damage to Hot Buns. Hot Buns is down. Let's see if red team will be able to get the smash off. And no, she had to back off. Hot Buns doing everything he can to try and get away from this, but no. It looks like Uma actually gets the smash off, leaving 2 members from blue team to defend against 3 members from red.
Yeah, and one thing that's really helping the red team out here, at least while they're pressuring the points, is the builds that we're seeing on the red team. We have Lady Steamhawk, one of the more prominent engineers in the TPVP scene, at least upper tier, if not top tier right now, is running the heavy pressure point NG build focused around the rifle and kit swapping, so he has a lot of vigor and ability to move around the point, especially with all the knockbacks and mobilizes he has. And that's actually going to help red team push the blue team off this point.
Absolutely, and Hitmonlee in a lot of trouble now, actually having to be forced back, heading over to Graveyard, trying to escape the fury from the red team, but unable to, is continuing down by 2 members from red team. Hitmonlee in a lot of trouble right now. Looks like, yes, he is down, but will red team be able to get the smash off, or will they just kill him? It looks like the smash is going to come in, and yes, it does come. No, it didn't. There it goes. Finally coming down from Shadow Omni. 1 member from the blue team, though, is now trying to, or actually 2 members are trying to contest Graveyard at this point in time, but with all members from red team, there's going to be really hard for blue team to try and contest this. 2 members, Gravel Train and Mexico Juggernaut, in a lot of trouble here. Mexico Juggernaut does go down, but will red team be able to get the smash off, leaving Gravel Train there, but no, the smash does go down on the Mexico Juggernaut, leaving Hot Buns to deal damage, but now Hot Buns is in a lot of trouble. Red team just so coordinated this match, blue team in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we saw them pop out their elite from the Ranger and Tangle, and that really was able to lock those 2 members of blue team down, so they were able to focus them down. And that was a really smart move from red team, because that keeps them not only locked down, they're able to kill them and put them on respawn timers, so they cannot devote resources to decapping and getting ahead in this fight.
And unfortunately right now, blue trying to get that cap onto Waterfall. They did get the cap down onto Quarry, but red team actually turned, and they are going to go ahead and pick that back up, leaving Hitmonlee over on Waterfall with the member from red team, that Necromancer, to try and cap that. And he leaves a point. He did get that capped, but the Necromancer jumping on point to try and decap that. 9 minutes left in the game, 343 to 138. I don't see blue team being able to come back from this.
No, especially since they are not going to get this Waterfall here. We see that Shadow Omni is running a pretty typical condition build. Looks like there's a few points that are a little off. In Spide and Death Magic, his own personal little flair, we see a lot of Necros throw in, but he's going to have a super easy time against Hitmonlee since he is a Boon-based Bunker NG, and this macro has a lot of corruption skills, really able to lock him down.
We do see the smash. No, he does get the rally off or the res off. Mickey Smack, I'm just calling you Smack, buddy. Smack being able to get either that rally or res off, not getting the smash down. But Hitmonlee getting pulled back in. It looks like they're doing everything they can to try and get Hitmonlee, but 2 members from blue team are down, and they do not have any points right now. There is that battle going down on Graveyard. Hitmonlee just trying to see if he can get members off from that middle point, so they could possibly try and cap that.
Yeah, and it's just not looking good for the blue team here. Once again, they did not have the coordination. They are not grouping up before the fights. We see them funneling in 1v1, and that's just really not going to work against a team that is staying grouped up like the red team right now. Looks like we can see across the map they have at least 1 member by each point waiting to contest it if blue team does come in and try to get a decap. Playing really smart on their part.
Unfortunately, Gravy Train over here on Waterfall trying to contest it, trying to get the cap, but 2 members from red team are there right now, doing a really good job at defending that point. Gravy Train actually having to turn to run away with another member, Hitmonlee, coming up to try and push him back.
Yeah, that's a really smart move on his part. As a solo thief, usually you have a really hard time contesting those points, especially if it's 2v1, since they are built so squishy. He needs that support of a teammate so he can just come in and get the gank.
Absolutely, and it looks like red team will take this with 7 minutes 30 seconds left in the game. 500 to 138. Pretty much team smash.
That was a complete lockout on the part of the red team.
Alright, we are moving on to our next map, Battle of Kylo. Actually, one of my more favorite maps. I don't understand why people don't like this map.
Personally, it is one of the more balanced maps that we see coming into the tournament rotation. It is one of the more interesting ones, in my opinion. It is really nice to see how certain teams can use that trebuchet to their advantage and how they decide to split their resources, whether they send one of their teammates to destroy the enemy trebuchet or if they just focusing on capturing their own. It always is a really big part of their strategy going in.
Absolutely, and getting into the game, we see 3 members from red team going ahead and hit up that windmill, along with all 4 members from blue team heading to mansion. No one going for clock tower and no one going for the trebuchet. You know, typically I don't think you see this kind of strategy in tournament play. You usually see, and yes, actually we are starting to see a blue team sending a member over to the enemy trebuchet to take that out. But red team not really doing anything, not sending anyone over to the blue team trebuchet to take it out, or a clock tower. We do see the engineer and thief now engaging red team warrior over at clock tower. Let's go ahead and have a look. Mexico Juggernaut has his battle standard out, jumping on, trying to get that cap down onto that point. Hot Buns in a lot of trouble. 2 members from red team. Thief and a warrior on that point, doing everything he can to try and get him off, but it looks like he more than likely will be able to get this. Hot Buns really low. 2 members from red team there. Don't think he'll be able to do anything. He's really low. He's in a lot of trouble right now. And no, he does go down. But will he be able to get the smash off? We do see that stealth smash coming down, and no, he moves out of the way. Smash does not go down on the Hot Buns. And we see Gravy Train going down. Yes, he will get the smash off down. No, he doesn't get the smash off down. Getting knocked back, so Hot Buns will bleed out. Still leaving a 2v1. A GT now in a lot of trouble. 2 members from red team just smashing down onto her. She's in a lot of trouble here, doing everything she can to try and contest that point, but red team already has it. But meanwhile, blue team doing a really good job. Actually, they have 2 points to red's 1 right now.
Yeah, we see a really interesting build coming out from Mexico Juggernaut. We don't see a lot of warriors in higher NT PvP at the moment, but he is running a warrior tanky support build with a shaman amulet, and it looks like he's geared around debunkering / locking down opponents for his teammates to burst, which really worked out there well with a Gravy Train, who is a thief and can really benefit from all the CC this warrior's putting out.
So it looks like we got a big battle going down over here at Clock Tower. Red team now having 2 cap points. Hot Buns doing quite a bit of damage actually to red team, forcing a couple of members back. Hitmonlee in a lot of trouble, having to get a heal off. Looks like Hitmonlee actually being the focus from a lot of members from the blue team, taking a lot of damage along with Gravy Train as well. Gravy Train just spinning to winning right now, doing everything he can to damage, but we do see one of the red team protect. Yes, Hitmonlee is down, but so is Hot Buns. Hot Buns not being able to get the smash down onto Hitmonlee. And we do see Hitmonlee, and now Gravy Train is down as well. We have a 3-way down here. Hitmonlee, Gravy Train. both down. We do see Mexico Juggernaut. They actually get the rally off from a bleed out from Hot Buns. Smack now, the only member left, trying to get that contention down onto that mid on the clock tower, and the smash does go down onto Deadshot, but that just leaves one member from blue team to go against two members from red team. We do see another member from red team down. Blue team does finally have a member on that trebuchet, as red team did nothing about the enemy trebuchet, and it looks like red team is in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, as blue team saw that they weren't winning that mid fight there, they had members branch off and go and decap both of their far points, which is really a good strategy here, especially since they did not have their treb up at the moment. After they capped those points, they got onto the treb, and that's really gave them the ability to get easy dominance over the clock tower here.
All right, so we have 11 minutes, 30 seconds left in the game. Blue team has 2 points, 1 point being contested right now. 158 to 91 in the favor of blue team. What do you think red team has to do to get themselves back into this game?
Well, over here at Windmill, we see that they are sending 2 people to contest the far points, which is really a good strategy, seeing as the blue team still does have their trebuchet up, so they do not want to try to go for that clock tower, as it is the easiest to hit. Looks like they're sending 2 members over to Windmill, and they're not having a great time against this thief. Hot Buns is doing a pretty good job at rejecting them with, it looks like, what is double dagger burst build, something we saw a lot earlier on in the meta with Permastealth Thieves.
It's not just that, Hot Bun's doing a really good job contesting that point. You also have that constant trebuchet damage coming down. None of the members from red team are going over to contest that trebuchet, so that's a lot of damage being put down on any point, as long as the trebuchet user is a good shot.
Yeah, exactly. The trebuchet plus 1 member just to stand on point can spell the end to up to 3 of the other players, especially if they're not dodging those trebuchet shots, which can be very difficult in the heat of battle.
A lot of members from red team now in a lot of trouble. Hitmonlee taken really low, doing everything he can to try and deal damage onto the blue member. Lady Steamhawk, whatever her name, Steamhawk, seems to be in a lot of trouble now, jumping onto that midpoint, trying to contest it. We do see Trebuchet, actually a really good Trebuchet user, just dealing damage down. Hitmonlee finally taken down along with Deadshot. Let's see if Lady Steamhawk will be able to get smashed from. No, Lady Steamhawk does go down, but it looks like, yes, the rally is down, and Hitmonlee in a lot of trouble, and it looks like he could go down.
Yeah, that treb, it was a really smart move of Lady Steamhawk to move in here where she knew her team was sending a treb out, so she was able to catch 2 members of the red team who were not awares and really get them down and get 2 kills for her team and decap the midpoint for blue. And that's something that's really good to see, especially since blue team has lost these past 2 matches to red team.
And now we are 9 minutes, 20 seconds left into the game. Blue team has 2 points, the Reds 1. It's 281 to 171 in favor of the blue team. A couple of members from red team actually in some trouble here. You got Valterra Uma finally being taken down. Mesmer, it looks like she is going to get smashed by Hot Buns, but no, there's a member from the red team there to try and contest that. But,
hopefully,
there it is.
Banner res from Juggernaut. Really good job on the support warrior there, making sure to get the team up.
He is for the win, but Valta Uma is still in a lot of trouble. Still really low, still taking a lot of damage from blue team. You know, Hot Buns is about halfway, but no members really from blue team are low health, and blue team is just obviously showing the dominance of this map right now.
Yeah, they do have the 3 cap, which really puts red in a bad position. They need to take out that treb, and it looks like they are sending 2 members over there to contest the trebuchet from GT, which is a smart move, but GT is doing a good job of keeping it locked down. We saw the Elite come out with Entangle, but he is going to go down regardless, and hopefully...
Let's see if Deadshot... Yes, Deadshot does get the smash off on the GT. Finally, the contestant comes down to blue team's trebuchet here. It looks like they will wind up taking that out. But in my personal feelings and opinion, I think it's already a little too late. 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. 394 to 185 in the favor of blue team. Blue team has strip cap. I don't see anything, any kind of strategies that red team can pull out to push this game into their favor right now.
Yeah, at this point, with the mechanics that are in play in this map, it is very difficult to come back because blue team only needs to remain in control of 1 point. Even if red gets the other 2, they will still win this match. It's not at all like Temple, where you can have really big clutch turnarounds with the mid buffs that pop in. We're really seeing blue team lock them down and take them out.
Absolutely, and looks like we got a fight going on between 4 members from Red Team and 2 members from Blue Team. It's Mitchak actually having to turn and run away, but leaving Gravy Train in a lot of trouble. Gravy Train does go down from a Hot Buns. Hot Buns not taking a whole lot of damage right now, but Gravy Train in a lot of trouble. We do see the Warrior trying to get the res off himself, but will he be able to? The block is down, but the smash does go down on the Gravy Train, leaving Mexico Juggernaut in a lot of trouble. Mexico Juggernaut does go down, but will they be able to get the smash off? Hot Buns doing a really good job of just straight up killing people, doing everything he can. And Hot Buns does wind up getting the smash down onto Juggernaut. Deadshot going down there. Deadshot in a lot of trouble, forcing him to turn and run away. And yes, that will be a victory for Blue Team. Just total dominance throughout that entire game. They had their Trebuchet up. Red Team didn't contest the Trebuchet. Just a lot of damage, not only coming from the players, but from the Trebuchet as well.
Yeah, we see that GT stacked up the most points in that match, 183, most likely from landing all those Trebuchet hits throughout the map. It really does stack up your points pretty quickly.
Absolutely. And as soon as this match ends, and the map is actually going to be raid on Capricorn. You know, this is one of those maps that I kind of really like, just due to the simple fact that there is one point, that midpoint there at Ruin, so where as soon as the team caps it, you only need one, semi-bunker, semi-damaged person there to defend it, because you get NPC help from the Sharks.
Yeah, and that's actually a reason a lot of the core PvP players dislike this map, just because of the fact that it is unable to be put in competitive play because of the unbalanced nature of underwater combat.
Well, it's not, everyone's opinions are based differently, but in my opinion, I would have to say that engineers are one of the more stronger underwater fighters. Combatants, just due to the simple fact that the grenades can be used and they are not skill shots, they are on target shots underwater. And we do see 2 members, or actually a member from both the red and blue team over at Ruins, sending one person from each red team and blue team to dock and beach. Blue team picking up beach, and red team going to go ahead and be picking up dock here hopefully shortly. And yes, there's a cap, but still leaving 2 members or a member each from red team and blue team over at Ruins. Go ahead and take a look over there. It's Hitmonlee versus Mexico Juggernaut. Hitmonlee actually looked to be doing a pretty good job trying to defend against that Guardian, but being forced off that cap point, giving a contestant to blue team. And it looks like, Mexico Juggernaut doing a really good job staying on that point, trying to force Hitmonlee off of it. But Hitmonlee, on the other hand, dealing a lot of damage to Mexico Juggernaut. Mexico Juggernaut really needs a member from his team to come over and help cap that point.
Yeah, at this point, they really need to send a ranger if they have one from each team over there, because they are the strongest underwater combatants. Even if killed, their pet res is so strong that they can remain in the fight and keep DPSing out the other members.
And unfortunately, another member from Red Team joining the fray, leaving Mexico Juggernaut for a 2v1 here. Doing a really good job for a 2v1, or for being in a 2v1 situation, dealing quite a bit of damage to Hitmonlee, forcing Hitmonlee to come in closer to stay on that point, allowing him to deal out quite a bit of damage. But with Gravy Train and Hitmonlee there, I don't think Mexico Juggernaut is going to be able to give it out. And there he goes, finally going down. Let's see if he'll be able to swim to the surface, or if he'll just bleed out and get killed. But this leaves an easy cap for Red Team.
Yeah, it really does. And they need to be pushing more members to beach and other places, as they have lost the dock. Since they do not have the stability with no bunkers on their team besides the one that has been killed at Ruins, they cannot stand on point, and blue team's really taking advantage of that, getting an early node lead.
And there it is. Actually, blue team doing a really good job capping that beach and dock, leaving only Ruins for red team. But with them capping the Ruins, you have that Shark NPC help, which allows red team to kind of traverse and go to each side, either to attack dock and beach, and get those 2 points, kind of hoping blue team kind of leaves the Ruins out and just hold dock and beach. I think that would be a really good strategy for blue team right now.
Yeah, they definitely need to mobilize and get some players into their team points fast, and they definitely need to have a little more defense going on. As we see, they did abandon the dock, losing it here very quickly, with members of the red team coming in to try to force Micmac off the point. And as he is only a trap ranger and not one of the bunkier BM rangers, it looks like he is going to have a hard time holding it.
Yeah, Mixmac in a lot of trouble now. 3 members, actually a member from Blue Team now joining the fray. It is a 2v3, but no, wasn't in time. Mixmac going down, and the smash does come down from Hitmonlee, leaving 1 member from Blue Team to be a 3v1. And it looks like Volta also entering the fray. We do see more members from Blue Team converging down onto this point, but Red Team did get the capture down onto Beach, so it's now 2-1 in Red Team's favor, but Red Team still does have that point lead. Let's see if Red Team will be able to hold these 2 points and kind of push the game into their favor as we continue down on this team fight. King Insanity in a lot of trouble, being taken down to half health. He looks to be in a lot of trouble right now. It is a 3v2 situation, or no, yeah, 3v2 situation right now. Mexico Juggernaut doing everything he can, jumping down onto King Insanity, dealing quite a bit of damage. But Mexico Juggernaut now in a lot of trouble, taking a bunch of damage. But will they be able to take him down? King Insanity going into block form, just, straight up saying, Mexico Juggernaut, you deal no damage to me. And let's see if Insanity will be able to get smashed on Mexico Juggernaut. And he does. Mexico Juggernaut going down, leading Doc uncontested for the red team. And looks like we do see some members from blue team. Mickey Smack trying to head over to beach, but being caught out by one of the members from red team. Having a look over here. Mickey Smack in a lot of trouble now, taking a lot of damage. We do see a fight happening over at beach. And Mickey Smack actually being forced away from the fight.
One thing that would be really nice to see out of Blue Team is one of the underused mechanics on this map, which is the cannon that is spawned over near the ship, midways between both points. It is really awesome at forcing members, and we actually do see Red Team actually taking advantage of it, using that as a defensive measure against Blue Team. Every time that cannon lands, it is similar to the Trebuchet in the fact that it does a lot of damage and will knock back, but it does need ammunition, which you can get.
Absolutely, and Mickey Smack now in a lot of trouble from Hitmonlee, being forced really, really low right now. And it's let's see, Gravy Train actually continuing on along with King Insanity onto Mickey Smack. Looks like Mickey Smack might go down, but Blue Team also capping a Doc, and they have Ruins. So it looks like Blue Team is going to go ahead and try and get a victory. Mickey Smack does wind up getting smashed by Gravy Train. This is actually a really back and forth fight right now. Really close in points. 9 minutes left. 212 to 203 in the red team's favor, but blue team has 2 cap points to red's 1 right now.
Yeah, and it looks like blue is also assaulting the beach over here, really trying to go for an aggressive stance, but we'll see if that pays off for them because they are losing Doc. And a lot of times teams will get momentum, but instead of defending, they will decide to continue to push, and that throws their teams off balance, and it really divides their resources. It sees that where red team is taking advantage of that, and they are going to try to gain the lead now, taking a 2-point capture point and neutralizing Ruins.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, Mexico Juggernaut being taken down by Bach Huntress. Bach Huntress doing a really good job trying to keep that point in their favor, but Mixmac in a lot of trouble now as Gravy Train and Bach Huntress both go down. And it looks like Gravy Train will wind up getting, yes, he does get smashed onto Mickey Smack, leaving a red team to actually be triple cap, but we are in a state of auto balance here. It was 2, so now it is a 3v3 Hitmonlee now being sent over to the blue team.
Yeah, and when we're looking at the compositions, even with a 3v3, red team just has more ability to stay on point because they do have a BM Ranger. The Mexico Juggernaut, he is not a bad on-point fighter, but his issue is the removal that plagues a lot of the warriors. Since Bach is able to throw down all that burning and bleeding on point with Entangle, he's really going to have a lot of on-point pressure, which forces Mexico out.
Absolutely, and Mexico Juggernaut and Hitmonlee converging on the Doc, but there are 2 members from red team there, King Insanity and Gravy Train. Gravy Train just, throughout the entire matches that we've watched him play, doing a really good job at just burning people down, just brushing them down, dealing quite a bit of damage, and, not really taking a whole bunch himself. You got Mexico Juggernaut there to stop and hold people down, and we do see King Insanity in a lot of trouble as Hitmonlee and Mexico Juggernaut converge onto him. He is very low, but he has to heal up. He's halfway. Gravy Train as well in a lot of trouble. Mexico Juggernaut being taken down very low, but doing a very good job at keeping both those members from a red team off of Doc. But unfortunately, taking too much damage, Mexico Juggernaut does go down along with King Insanity, but let's see who will be able to get the smash off first because Gravy Train is low as well.
Yeah,
And
this is
let's see. And yes, he does get the rally off. Mexico Juggernaut is back up. Gravy Train in a lot of trouble. Gravy Train being taken down as well, leaving that point open for blue team.
yeah, that was an interesting fight there. It's not something you see a lot in the current meta, but we had two bunkery hybrid damage builds going off against two more damage-based builds. We had the Thief, who was putting out a decent amount of burst damage, and then King Insanity with what looks like a more condition-based warrior build, though it looks like he neglected to put the 10-point slot in his strength, which might hold him back a little bit.
Absolutely. And, we got 6 minutes left in the game. Red team doing a really good job of kind of holding their point lead. It's 360 to 305. Blue team does have 2 points to Red's 1, but Red doing a really good job of trying to contest at Dock right now. It is back to a 2v2 with Gravy Train and King Insanity against Mexico Juggernaut and Hit Molly. And let's see if they'll be able to continue to hold this point from Red team.
We see King Insanity making a little bit of a mistake there, sitting in the caltrops that we see that's being dropped by Gravy Train, and that is really doing a lot of damage to him. It stacks a bleed every second that they stay in it, and it lasts for 14 seconds. So you have the potential for a lot of bleed spike damage to come in right there, and that is really taking a toll on him during this fight.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Mexico Juggernaut finally being taken down. Hitmonlee in a lot of trouble as well, but we do see Mickey Smack over there just raining as much damage as he can with his arrows on the King Insanity Gravy Train and Dubak Huntress. Now he's going in for the kill, jumping off from that point. King Insanity kind of low, but it looks like Hitmonlee will eventually be taken down here, leaving this point open for Red to capture. And
yeah, it's cool to see Hitmonlee running the kind of build he is, since we don't see it often, and he's actually playing it quite skillfully, because as an engineer, he does not have the base health to tank a lot of damage, but he is using those blocks, those evades, and those knockbacks to really deny a lot of damage here to the red team. And it looks like he still has his elite up, and he's about to get Elixir S, which will give him a little more stability with that invulnerability.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just doing a really good job, timing his dodges right, doing everything he can to stay up, and, contest at that point. Red team just barely capped this point back. But you have all three members from Red team on this point, trying to cap it. Hitmonlee doing a really good job. It left the room for Blue team to go back cap Ruins because they already have Beach. And, we got 4 minutes left in the game, 421, 391 in the favor of the Red team. But Blue team does have that 2-point advantage or 2-cap advantage right now. And they're forcing all three members from the Red team to defend at Dock. Hitmonlee still hasn't gone down. He is very low, and there it is. He finally gets taken down, along with King Insanity as well, but will Mexico Juggernaut get a smash off, getting a rally onto Hitmonlee in time before Hitmonlee bleeds out. And we do see that nice knockback coming down, knocking Gravy Train off, and it looks like Mexico Juggernaut trying to get the res off and then healing Monlee up by quite a bit. And actually bringing up Hitmonlee. King Insanity now in a lot of trouble. Blue team was able to decap this. Red team has no points right now. Gravy Train in a lot of trouble along with King Insanity. King Insanity finally dies out. He used his res, his warrior res, to get himself up to try and help his team out, but to no avail. He wasn't able to do anything really, and now leaving Gravy Train in a lot of trouble. Red team, we do see one member trying to head over to Beach, but there's a member from Blue team heading over there as well, and we do see a trip cap coming out from Blue team. 3 minutes left. The actual point advantage is over in the favor of the Blue team, 475 to 437. Red team just trying to do everything they can to stay into this game, but at this point in time, I think Blue team is going to have this. They still have the triple cap. We have three members over here at Dock. King Insanity in a lot of trouble, 500, and there it is. Blue team takes this. Very close game. Red team had the lead there for quite a bit, but they just started to focus, I think, a little too much onto Dock.
Yeah, and what we saw there was some really awesome MVP play coming from Hitmonlee, surviving against 3 people, which is not something you see a lot of bunker NGs nowadays. And he was able to hold that off while Blue team capped the rest of the points, and they were really able to pull ahead there while they had that point neutralized. Really great play coming from him.
Absolutely, and let's see what our next map is going to be. It's going to be Spirit Watch. I say this a lot, but it's one of my favorite maps, just due to simple fact you do have to have that orb control. It instantly neutralizes a point if it's in the enemy's team, and it gives you 50 points, or you can grab it and take it to your own point and get 30 points. you have to have not only really good orb control, but point control.
Yeah, one thing to mention, it is actually only 30 points per cap, and that is if they own the cap point, and it is 15 if they use it to neutralize. One thing I just want to point out there, but it is very big on this map in the strategy. If they go for all points and ignore the orb, the other team has the advantage to neutralize their points and be gaining points at an actually quicker pace. So we'll see if they actually have the players who are built for the movement and mobility of the orb, and if the teams will actually support those orb carriers.
Absolutely. As you get into the game, we saw those double thieves go over to Bear and get that cap. They sent a warrior over to Raven to get that early cap, but they left nobody to go to Wolf, and they just capped Wolf. But we do see a warrior now for the blue team. They do have that orb. They are getting it to Bear, trying to get that real early point lead going on, which I think is a really strong strategy. They did not send anybody from red team over to protect the orb. Now we do see a fight over at Raven, as known as cap. No, red team did cap it. And it looks like Mexico Juggernaut doing a very good job of defending it. Gravy Train, and Level Dick, I'm just going to say that thief, doing a very good job of trying to contest this point, but Mexico Juggernaut being taken really low. We do see those conditions ticking, and he does finally go down, but will he be able to get the smash off in time in the cap as well? And the smash does go down on the Mexico Juggernaut. There's two members from blue team. They'll get that quick decap. Blue team got that early lead, because Orb, no, you do see that Orb going down into play over at Bear. They instantly neutralize that point with the Orb, leaving it open for red team to cap.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a split strategy there. Red team early on went for the points, while blue team went for the orb and did not get that point dominance. And while it did give them a slight advantage at the start, the fact that red was able to pick up that second orb has brought them into a bigger advantage, especially with those fast decaps from the orb capping. And they're doing a really good job at maintaining dominance so far.
Absolutely, but we see those two thieves over on blue team. They're over at Wolf. They're going to go ahead and try and get that cap. But we do see red team just now taking over the dominance of the orb control. And we do see them always constantly having that orb. Blue team does have Wolf. Red team did send an engineer over to Raven. And it looks like red team, yeah, they did neutralize. It looks like they will get it. But we do see red team running over to Wolf right now with an orb. They are going to instant neutralize it. And we do see Gravy Train actually doing a lot of damage to Bach Huntress right now. Bach Huntress in a lot of trouble, along with the other thief. They're just dealing so much damage. Bach Huntress healing up, but Mexico Juggernaut doing a really good job just interfering with the damage that was coming down on the Bach Huntress, throwing banners and being that support warrior that he is. But both members from blue team jumping down on the Bach Huntress, knowing that they'll be able to take her out a little bit faster than they will Mexico Juggernaut. But Bach Huntress doing a very good job just timing her dodges right, getting her heal down, just doing a really superb job of staying alive. But now we see, since there's two members from blue team over at Wolf, red team went ahead and backcapped and got Raven and Wolf, or not, I'm sorry, Raven and Bear. What do you think is blue team's strategy this game? I mean, I don't think I'm really seeing a strategy.
Well, it's really tough for blue team as we look at their comp. With the two thieves on their team, they're going to have a really hard time carrying the orb, because unless they're specifically built for it, they're going to be very squishy, and they cannot use stealth or their teleports, or they will drop the orb. They're actually immune to stealth, and any teleport will drop the orb for them. While on the red team, we see a tanky warrior and a BM ranger, both things that are very good at capping that orb because they have high mobility with the leaps and the evades that they have. So they're going to have a little better advantage when it comes to getting that orb and getting those neutralizes out.
So unfortunately, Gravy Train in a lot of trouble here, taking a lot of damage. I don't think they're going to get the smash. I think they're just going to try and force the bleed out here, as they do have a member. And yes, it looks like he will wind up getting taken down from two members from a red team, leaving the other thief all by himself over here at Wolf. Blue team just trying to do everything they can to contest over at Raven and Wolf. Or sorry, Raven, but they're really focusing too much on Wolf. We have 10 minutes, 30 seconds left in the game. It's 284 to 96 in red team's advantage. Red team has all 3 points capped right now. The orb is uncontested. I think blue team is just really running around. And excuse me.
The thing that's really tough for blue team coming in here is the fact that they do have high burst damage, which is really wasted on these tankier classes we're seeing come from Bach and Hitmonlee. These classes really have more of a disadvantage against Condi classes who are able to force those clears early, and then that damage will just tick them down slowly while they're not able to sustain. But with these heavy damage classes, especially since we don't see Larcenous Strike Thieves, who are able to strip those boons, this red team is just really maintaining that dominance, as they do have the tankiness to outlast in those sustained fights.
Yeah,
Which
but
is really
Oh, okay.
We do
you're
see.
back.
I'm back. Sorry. We do see blue team wound up getting the cap down on the bear, but Bach Huntress does have that orb, and she does get that instant neutralize. She does throw down her AOE heal for her team, and leaving blue team in a really bad position. It is only Gravy Train here. He's in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of damage. His stealth does come down, but I don't know if it'll be enough to save his life. Yes, his stealth does finally come out. He does actually wind up healing and stealthing, doing a really good job at contesting this point, not allowing red team to get that triple cap back. It's 390 to 106 in the favor of red team right now. Blue team in a lot of trouble. They're just going in one by one and just getting demolished by red team. But once again, Gravy Train doing a really good job staying alive, keeping this point contested. You know, it's no one's point right now, but he constantly keeps jumping off, jumping back in. Eventually, red team will wind up getting the cap on it.
Well,
We do see Hit Mistress getting taken down, or sorry, Hitmonlee getting taken down over here. As another member from blue team jumps into the fray, and he does wind up getting smashed. Blue team doing a really good job locking down. Bach Huntress is in a lot of trouble now, taking really low. And yes, she is down. She is fighting to survive. But will Gravy Train be able, or is he going to get the smasher? I think he's just going to try and go ahead and get for the bleed out, as we do see Mexico Juggernaut doing everything he can to protect her. But yes, she will unfortunately wind up bleeding out. Blue team does wind up getting 2 of the points back. They have Raven and Bear, but it's 462 to 135 in the favor of red team. You know, I really don't see blue team coming back from this, even though they do have 2 caps, and it looks like they are trying to start to play as a team right now.
yeah, one thing that really hurt them was the fact that they did ignore the orb early on. And it's one thing to note that out of all the secondary objectives that are in the game currently, the orb is one of the most powerful on maps like these, because every time they're getting a cap, they're getting a 15 point, which really bumps them up in the stats because they don't have to wait for those points on the node ticks. So red team really had a smart strategy there. And I think if blue team might have swapped over to orb control earlier, they might have had a chance at coming back. But right now, it's probably not going to be enough with 10 points to go.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Gravy Train does have that orb. He is doing everything he can to kind of get their team some kind of points, but it's 495 to 200. He does get that orb in there, but unfortunately, it'll be too late because the red team is going to wind up taking this game with 7 minutes left. 500 to 206 into red team's favor.
Yeah, really unfortunate team composition for blue team there going in. They did not have the classes they need to carry with a Necro, 2 Thieves, and a Warrior. The Warrior really just was trying to focus on holding those points, but he was not able to pull those points ahead for their team.
Okay, absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be our final game for Guild Wars 2 analysis. I have been your lead caster, Grizz Rage, and with me today is Justin D. Reed. I don't know what game you or what name you'd like to go by, so I'll go ahead and let you do your own outro.
Yeah, guys, I am Black Avarice, avid tournament necromancer, signing out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Game Analysis Night, and we will see you next week.